Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk to you about my January wrap-up. Let's go! I read 6 books this month, 4 of them were audiobooks, so let's start with the first audiobook I read, which was The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I read The Outsiders when I was little, which is a very strange choice for me to read as a kid. I don't remember anything about it. I think I might have gotten it from the library and just read it. I don't really remember if I liked it. I think I was really young. I probably didn't understand anything of what was happening. But I read it again now at 22 years of age and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars out of 5. Amazing, loved it. The Outsiders follows a 14-year-old boy called Ponyboy for 2 weeks of his life while in the midst of gang wars. Basically, he tries to find out what's right and what's wrong. This book talks a lot about family, found family, economic differences. It has themes of loss and grief, and it's just amazing. I love it. And the audiobook was fantastic. If you want to give it a read, I definitely recommend the audiobook. It's quite a quick one and an easy one to listen to. Next, I read the only physical book I read this month, and it was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I don't think I need to explain to you what this is about. It's Percy Jackson, everyone knows. I haven't read this yet, this is my first time reading it. I started it last year, but for some reason I just wasn't reading at all and I put it down. So I picked it back up, picked back from where I had stopped, and I absolutely loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. I'm not sure why. I like middle grade, I love mythology. I'm not sure why. I think I just watched the film and I was just like, But that's my bad, don't come for me. This had lovely themes about friendship and courage, and it's such a good book for young readers to read. I'm reading the second one this month in February, and I'm just really excited to continue. I love the characters so much. And I give Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief 4 stars out of 5. Okay, so now let's get into the book that wasn't good this month. People are gonna fight me for this, that's fine. But it was Serpentine by Shelby Moran. Where do I even start? So this book, if you don't know, this book has been making the rounds around BookTube, and it's about a witch and a witch hunter who are forced into this arranged marriage, and it's set in France in medieval times? Spanish Inquisition? Not really any of that, it's just a medieval France in now time that's kind of weird. Maybe it's not France at all, I have no idea. And that leads me to the biggest problem with this book. It was so confusing, it made no sense. I listened to this as an audiobook, and usually I think when I'm not liking a book, I'll go to the audiobook and I'll feel a lot stronger about it. I like it a lot more. Not with this book. I don't think the narrators were the problem, no shade to them, but there's a lot of French words in this book. And listening to that, it's worse than reading. This is one of my biggest bookish pet peeves, and it's when a book is set in a country that's not English speaking and the book is written in English. And when characters in this non-English speaking city, place, country say random words, it's just in the native language of that country. It just makes no sense, because then you're left thinking like, is this just, are they speaking English and they're just using these French words like patisserie, whatever else they said. They said some random like Dom LeBlanc. It's just words that are in French and they're speaking English, or is it the opposite? So they're speaking French all the times, but when they speak French in the text, it's English. And reading it already annoys me, but listening to it, every time they said a French word, I would throw my phone off whatever I was, the bus usually. And then this book was confusing, but it was somehow predictable as well, because every time a twist happened, I'd sit there like, wait, I thought we knew this already. I thought this was already established. Why are people acting surprised? Is this supposed to be a twist? I thought we knew this already. And every single twist I felt like that, except for like 2 or 3 that just makes absolutely no sense. And I was just like, that this is happening now, I guess. In this world there are also like at least 2 different types of magic. At least. I'm not sure if there's more. One of them, which wasn't the principal magic, the blood magic, loved that. I thought that was actually really cool, really made sense. Mostly made sense. It's a first book in a series. Duology, I think this is a duology. The main type of magic, white magic, Dame LeBlanc, white magic, I'm not sure what it's called. I have no idea if they said it, if I forgot, I don't know. Made no sense. So the premise, I think, was I need to give something of myself for the magic to work, but what? What? But oh my god, but then sometimes oh my god, it made no sense. It was so awful. And one of the main characters, Reed, who is our witch hunter, it's people are gonna fight me for this, but he's Matthias, but worse. So I think Matthias is the weakest character in Six of Crows. Reed is just, he's unbearably annoying. And then, God, I need to shut up about this book, but then this is of course one of those like, I was forced to marry them and we'll fall in love. Don't tell me that this is spoilers, it's absolutely not. But 1 second, they absolutely fucking hate each other. The other second, they are in love. Literally, like I was sitting there like, this audiobook must be missing a chunk, but then I saw more people complaining about this, so not my audiobook, just the book. But it's literally like 5 pages. They go from, he's a witch hunter, she's annoying because she's like, whatever. And then they're just like, oh, we're so in love. Please shut up. I can't stand it. So I give Serpentine 2 stars. I don't know. Maybe you liked it. I'm sorry if... You know what? I love you. Whatever. Let's move on. Ooh, I'm all riled up. But next book I read was Ungovernable by Theresa O'Neill. I've previously read Unmentionable, also by Theresa O'Neill, and I love both these books. These books are non-fictional. Unmentionable is kind of like about living as a woman in the Victorian age, and Ungovernable, which is the one I read this month, is about raising children in the Victorian age. But the book is kind of told in a way as if it's a self-help book, and you're a normal person living in the 21st century, learning about how to take care of your kid as if you were in the Victorian age. It's really interesting and it's super funny. This book follows all the way from conception to raising like youngish kids. I hoped it'll be less focused on the pregnancy part, because we got a little bit of that in Unmentionable, but still amazing. I listened to the audiobook. The narrator was so funny. This had 2 narrators because of the self-help thing. Kind of has like a Q&A part to it. It's really cool. But yeah, if you're trying to get into non-fiction, I totally recommend these books, and I give Ungovernable 4.5 stars. Next I read Heroine by Mindy McGuinness. This was a 4-star read for me. If you have dealt with drug addiction, if you are sensible to themes of drug addiction, don't even look at this book. Don't touch it, because this would be like exposure therapy to the max, and we don't want that. This book follows Mickey after a car crash in her process of getting addicted to painkillers and then stronger drugs after that. This was a very heavy contemporary, as I was expecting it to be. I also listened to the audiobook, and I kind of wish I read it physically, but the audiobook was alright, nothing bad about it. I just think heavy hitting hits heavier sometimes when you're actually reading it. I thought it was beautifully written. I thought it was very real, like it felt facts, like it felt like I was reading a biography instead of a fiction book. I wish kind of like last 2 hours kind of the audiobook felt a little rushed. I'm not sure what that would mean to pages, but the last bit felt a little rushed because it's focused on a part that I guess the author didn't want to focus as much attention on, but I kind of wish they did, because it's a more uplifting part, and it's a very important part to talk about when it comes to drug addiction, and especially in young adult books. But this book was really good. I really enjoy it. If you think you're prepared to deal with themes of drug addiction, definitely give it a read. Next, I read The Last Mile in SUNDER City by Luke Arnold. Luke Arnold is the guy from Black Sails. Fun. I was given an arc of this book from Orbit and NetGalley, so thank you for that. But I thought this book was actually kind of cool. This follows Fetch Williams in kind of a mystery plot where he tries to uncover the disappearance of a vampire in a world that recently lost its magic. It's really interesting. If you like reading about different magical species, read it. It had really interesting themes of economic status, loss, dealing with your own death, dealing with your demise. Don't go in it for the mystery, because that takes a little bit of a step back to the world building. But if you like that whole steampunky, urban fantasy, dark, gritty book, you should give it a try. I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Okay, so those were all the books I read in the month of January. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what books you read this month, last month, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!